Our last item on the agenda for today, public comment period. Persons wishing to speak on items not on the agenda should complete a speaker's card and present it to the recording secretary. Public comment will be limited to 3 minutes. No action to be taken by the commission at this time. Any item requiring commission action may be scheduled on a future commission agenda. In addition to the public comment period, public comment limited to 3 minutes per speaker will also be allowed on each agenda item, but not on the reports and informational items unless otherwise noted on the agenda. Okay, so public comment, we have some cards.
I don't have any cards specific to public comment.
Okay, no public comment cards specifically. So does anybody from the public, is there any public comment at this point? Oh, come on up.
Kathy Smith, Reno, Nevada. I learned something quite disturbing while preparing for the commission meeting today. Hunts are determined based on hunter opportunity rather than a cost-benefit analysis. Although sportsmen's dollars do pay a large percentage of the department revenues, non-sportsman PR funds, offshore drilling, mining, and boating also contribute a significant amount. Most of Nevada's land is federal. Additionally, several other federally funded agencies help support wildlife and habitat. The Department of Agriculture secured $16 million for sage-grouse habitat in 2010 alone. So I don't think it's correct for the department to consider the sportsman their only client. Placing hunter opportunity before wildlife places a sportsman in a very precarious position. Managing a wildlife department without cost consideration takes the sportsman out of the conservation role and makes he or she self-serving. If we are realistic and rational, managing wildlife is a business. When a department is losing revenue annually, I don't think anyone can say it's best for wildlife to spend money on hunts that are questionably sustainable, allow unethical hunting techniques, and are a net loss for the department. To summarize, due to the bear hunt, there's less money for wildlife. So what is being done to hunt the bear now that there is a hunting season? The bear awareness budget for 2012 and 13 remains stagnant at $1,646. The general fund is decreasing, but it still remains at almost $500,000. So 0.3% of the general fund goes to bear awareness. I have yet to hear of anything to help the bear other than obtaining kill data and anecdotal reports from hunters. The department has the management part down. It remains weak in the preservation, protection, and restoration portions. It is really unfortunate the department has chosen to cater specifically or primarily to sportsmen. We need each other to help prevent further habitat destruction. Although it may be good for memberships and organizations to the far left and right to polarize stakeholders, it is not good for wildlife. I'm disappointed that the Nevada Coalition for Wildlife is employing the emotional and reactionary slippery slope argument. Are sportsmen really that gullible? The more sportsmen as a group defend all forms of hunting without question of ethics, the more support they will lose from society as a whole. When you have a department that makes hunter opportunity their #1 priority, who speaks up for the wildlife? Should hunter opportunity play a role in decisions of wildlife management? Of course. Should it be the #1 priority? Absolutely not. Should a cost-benefit analysis be done on every hunt with projection of future revenues? Of course. If sportsmen truly love the wildlife, they should feel this way and support a department who acts in this manner. If sportsmen feel their opportunity should supersede the wildlife, they're simply clients buying a wildlife resource and not conservationists. Thank you.
Thanks. Any other public comment? Come on up, Jason. Then you, John.
Jason Peterson on behalf of myself and other guys that I work with. I'll make this quick and short. A couple of people have already heard me talk about this before. I moved here in January 2010 when I got stationed up at Creech Air Force Base. In February, I went down to the NDOW office to purchase a hunting license so that I could apply for the application, and I was denied because I hadn't been here 6 months. I asked if there was anything in the regulations for military that waived this, and I was told no. In January of 2011, I started looking in, getting a little more involved with the wildlife here in the state and looking into regulations, and I found NRS 502.070, which states that this 6-month requirement is waived for military personnel. The individuals down at the NDOW office were unaware of this. It's not printed in the regulations that's sent out to all the stores. So if a guy goes to Walmart and picks up that copy, he just got stationed here, he's going to look in there and say, crap, I can't get a license because I haven't been here 6 months. It's already been approved and everything. I just would like to see them put that one little line in the regulation book when they print it so that the guys are aware of this. I didn't get a chance to hunt that year, and after reading that, I was a little upset because I didn't even get the bonus point, which would help me out now, but hindsight's 20/20. So I'd just like to see if that could be put into the regulations that's printed out to the public. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason. John?
My name is John Hyatt. I'm Conservation Chair of Red Rock Audubon Society, and I'd like to talk about the subject of lead ammunition for hunting purposes. First, I'd like to congratulate the Commission and Department for banning lead shot on the state wildlife management areas, but actually that's only a very small percentage of the state. It's been known for a long time that lead's very toxic. We've banned lead shot for waterfowl hunting because we know that waterfowl ingest that lead shot, that spent lead shot on the bottom of ponds and whatnot, and become poisoned and die from that. It's estimated something like 1 million ducks a year were dying from lead shot. I don't know what it is today. It's decreased, but not altogether, because that shot lasts for decades in the bottom of ponds. It's also use of or spent lead ammunition is a major cause of mortality in California condors. We don't have many now, but they certainly have been sighted in Nevada along the border of Lake Mead, Lake Mojave. We probably will have them in future. It's a major cause of mortality in bald eagles and to some extent in golden eagles. This is from ingesting gut piles with lead, with spent lead in them. It's also been realized lately when states started x-raying game meat, which was provided by hunters to charities, and people decided we should x-ray this, take a look at it, and lo and behold, they found that some of this meat at least contained lots of very small shards of lead from lead ammunition. And we know that ingesting lead by especially small children does not help them neurologically. So I think that this is an idea whose time has come to really look at this. We've removed lead from paint. We've removed it from gasoline. And I think now we need to look at removing lead from lead ammunition. There are alternatives available. The amount of ammunition that hunters use actually in hunting is relatively small, especially for big game hunting. And the cost of doing away with that would not be prohibitive. And so I think that this is an item that this commission should consider at a future meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I just want to add to what John is saying is that I was on the Arizona Fish and Game website looking to see if there were any javelina hunts that were still available, and I ran across a part of their website that had an X-ray of I think it was a deer hindquarter, and it was pretty scary, showing the lead dispersal, from the bullet, and it does make you think. So anyway, I know the NRA is not very supportive of doing away with lead, but anyway, I personally shoot Barnes X bullets and they're copper, so I'm not affected. Anyway, okay. Any other public comment? Clint.
For the record, Clint Bentley. I just wanted to publicly commend NDOW for working through an EA process with BLM regarding the being able to access the guzzler sites in wilderness areas and land the helicopters to do our maintenance flights. It's been a long time coming, and I really appreciate the work that NDOW did, in particular the Habitat Bureau Chief, Elmer Bull, and Ken Mayer. If they hadn't stepped up to the plate and kept their ground, we wouldn't have got what we did. Thank you.
Thanks, Clint. Okay, any further public comment? Okay. You coming up, sir? Okay.
Roy Poole from Nye County. I have a project here that has bothered me for quite some time here, and that is the fact that I've been in the state here for over 35 years in business where our man at times cannot apply and hunt as he wants to, but he's thinking about it constantly. Anyway, at this time, I'm retired now, and I have applied for my deer tags over the years here for an area that I have hunted in the past, and I know this area. 5 years ago, I drew a tag, but it was plumb out of my area because I applied for everything, and I can't do that no more because I spent 4 or 5 days up there just running around not knowing where I was at. Anyway, I think the law should be changed. I'm 76 years old, and I cannot get out in the brush anymore to hunt as I used to. I believe, though, I only have a few years left, as there is many men I've talked to about the same subject, and they feel the same way. They say they cannot, they have a couple years left in their life that they'll be able to hunt. I think a man at 65 years old should not have to draw for a tag. I think he should be able to go to Walmart and buy a tag, hunt his area of choice for the rest of his life, which is probably very short. Thank you.
Thank you. Sounds like an issue for the hunt allocation, tag allocation committee. Okay, any further comment? Public comment? Okay, seeing one. Hand going up? Larry? No? Okay. Then I'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. We'll reconvene. Recess the meeting. Recess the meeting. Thanks. Got my procedural guy right here helping me. We'll recess the meeting until Saturday, tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. Thank you.
Can I make one announcement? If you're going to go down to the show, especially the commissioners, you'll see our